How we doing, everybody? It is a beautiful day here in the Cheesy Moon Workshop. I've been kind of absent for about a week or so. Lots of things going on, but we're trying to move on beyond those. This is my knife haul from this weekend. This pile of knives here, I paid $40 for this morning at a yard sale. I paid 25 cents for this one. And see if I can find the marking here without my glasses on. And get it to focus. And there we go. It's a Case XX kitchen knife. I gave a quarter for that knife. I know. I got a good deal. This pile of knives here, young lady was selling these, said they belonged to like her father and her grandfather. Pretty bad shape pile of knives there. And then this top row here, that was from an estate sale. These were in the $2 pile. I think I'm missing one. Yes. No. There it is. These were in the $2 pile. These three here. These were, I think I have $14 or so in those. And then in this stack here, I gave the young lady $40 and told her I would do a video and let her know that her father/grandfather's knives are being well taken care of. This knife is a parts knife, broken blades. I'm sure it was a very pretty knife at one time. So we'll go ahead and drop it into the bath. This knife here, little Barlow. The small blade is broken, but we'll give it a bath and use it for a parts knife. This knife here, both blades are broken. This was just a little gentleman's knife, a little costume knife, what do you want to call it. Couldn't find a maker on it. In the parts bin. This knife also has a broken blade right there. Okay, not quite sure where I left off. I think I was on this knife. Super rusty. Broken blade, but I might just delete that blade, but I will have to leave the end of the tang in there as a spacer. Cleaned it up. I did find that it is a Boker, but that's the only thing I could find because the blade is so heavily rusted I couldn't read it. So that's going in the mineral oil. This is an old Campmaster, heavily rusted. Clamshell handles, pretty typical, $2 knife. This one here is kind of a mystery. It's wood handles. I didn't find any tang stamp on it. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. But again, no tang stamp or anything. So we'll put it in the bath as well. Hopefully, these are just parts knives, except for those two that I can clean up. The other things I found in here, wasn't super interested in this cleaver. It's missing a pin right here. Anyway, you can see it was made by Utica, and it's a USA made, so I wasn't going to buy it, but the young lady, I believe her name was Tammy, she just threw it in there. So here you go. But I'm going to give a shout out to the Knife. I'll put a link in there. His name is the Knife Hobbyist or something like that. I subscribe to his channel and watch him. He showed a neat trick using a number 2 or a graphite pencil and to scrub the tang stamps on a knife so you can read them without using sandpaper or some sort of abrasive. And by golly, that works really good. That is a super good tip. I'll put a link to his channel. I've been enjoying his content, so please go over and check that guy out. Good stuff. That guy came to me via Kevin, Knife Doctor. Kevin picked up some tips and tricks from this guy. He's pretty awesome. Definitely, if you clean, fix, repair, restore, go check this guy out. I'll put a link right over here, or a shout out right over here. I'll put a link to his page. Super awesome trick. The carpenter pencil works really good because it's nice wide tip on there. But that was in there. And then she had another knife that she researched on eBay and saw that they were asking $130, $140, something like that. So I didn't want to insult her or try to bust her bubble, but I did pick up these 3 knives, and using the pencil scrub test, found out this is a Scout knife emblem, and right here you can see the leather rings have busted through, but they're all there. So I think I'm going to super glue those and then oil this up good and hydrate it to keep any more from cracking off. Very heavily rusted blade, but I think I can restore it to somewhat decent condition. Get this oiled up, rehydrated, keep it from falling apart any further. And if that doesn't work, I got a pretty special piece of wood that I'll put on there and replace that leather with. But I think that's going to end up being a decent looking knife. This knife, couldn't find anything on it when I was looking at it. Sorry, I'm doing this by hand. My stand is broken. I did not think this was a military knife. I thought it was just like a hunting knife because of the profile on the tip. But I used the old pencil scrubby technique there, and I kind of came up with E.G.W. knife. And a lot of people will say that's, stands for edged weapon or whatever. But I found information on these knives. Not super valuable. I mean, in great shape with the leather sheath that came with it. They're selling for $40 or $50. But I didn't find any records saying this was issued formally or officially to the military, but I found that it was heavily purchased and carried by members of the Navy. Some people called it an oyster knife because of that sort of round tip on there that's not repaired. That's how it look. And then if you look at this grind pattern on there, it's reminiscent of a Bowie, but it's just sort of a false edge on top. But this one is in pretty good shape. I think I can get it oiled up, restore the moisture in the handle, and like I say, they're so in great shape with the sheath and everything for $40, $50. This is in okay shape, so it should be worth $20 maybe. And then this knife here, this knife is pretty rusty. I mean, it's, once I get the red rust off, it is going to be very, very pitted. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Yeah, that's some deep, deep embedded rust on the tip here, along the edge of the blade there. It's going to be pitted. It's fairly scaly on the back, but after I got to looking at it, I kind of recognized that handle. I kind of know what it is. I haven't tried to value the knife. And then you look here on the sheath, very ornate queen. I'm going to use some mink oil to clean this, and there's a shout out to her father or grandfather, whoever G.W. is. He used one of his knives to carve his name in the back of the leather sheath, but that's fine. That adds to the provenance of that knife. But hopefully I'll be able to rescue it. In my opinion, if you're one of those serious knife collectors, this detracts from the value. But for me, I'm not one of those hardcore serious guys who want everything perfect. I think if I clean her up, she'll be a good addition to my collection. All right, so that was the knives from Miss Tammy. I wish I had sheaths for some of these other knives, those other two large knives, but I recently purchased some scrap leather, and maybe I'll give it a try. So there are the little pocket knives. Well, okay, guys, it's another beautiful day in the Cheesy Moon Workshop. I've sat here and went through all these knives are in this oil bath. I thought I was recording when I wasn't. To summarize, I'm doing this one-handed for now. This is a wood-handled single-blade knife, maker unknown. A little Camp King, a Barlow with one broken blade. This little gentleman pocket knife, both blades broken. That is a two-bladed Boker with one blade broken, and then there's a little knife down there with broken blades. Those are soaking. They were in this wooden box with these knives. And I'm going to pause this and put it on the camera stand so it won't be as shaky and messy. Okay. These knives in the box there that I showed you, I purchased from a young lady named Tammy, who said she had a box full of knives that belonged to her father and her grandfather. And she said, a box full of knives. I give credit to my wife, who uses her phone to go to yard sales and estate sale sites. And she tracks down, she always asking, do you have any pocket knives or knives? She stumbled across two different one-yard sale with those oil bath knives in this wood box, and another was an estate sale. So Miss Tammy had these knives. I did a little demonstration that I learned from a fellow on here, Southern Knife Hobbyist or something like that. I'll put a link right up here to his channel. Super cool channel. Kevin, the knife doctor, mentioned him. Kevin learned some stuff off of this guy. I went over, I checked it out, I learned something. And this lead pencil, this graphite pencil, he said it's a great way of looking at tang stamps without hurting the knife, scratching it up. And sure enough, I just rubbed that across here, and it showed up the tang stamp quite well. This knife, this little cleaver, I wasn't even interested in it, but Miss Tammy threw it in there. It's missing a rivet pin there, and it's kind of cracked. But it's made by E.G.W. in the USA, so it's a USA-made knife, and I'll clean it up. It's not full tang, so it wasn't made for heavy use. It's pretty small, but that was kind of cool. In this wood box, it's off camera now, there were these pocket knives, all of them very, very bad shape. There was this knife, and I just went all on about how the handle pieces have fallen off. I'm going to try to line them up as best I can, and put some super glue down in there, and clamp this really good. Try to just glue those pieces back on, then oil it down and try to rehydrate the leather. Some of these back here are loose also, but try to rehydrate it and let them swell up again and see if that works. If not, I may have to take the leather off and put on some wood handles, but I believe the knife doctor did one a while back that he found it had 0 leather on it, and he put some palm wood that I had sent him on there. But it's a Boy Scout knife, but I could not find a maker on here anywhere. Let's see if maybe we can pick up one on the back here using the pencil trick. And oh, I can see already. Look at that. Let's see if we can scrub it off here. This is going to be a game changer for me. This carpenter pencil with that big fat square tip on it, that is going to be part of my official knife shopping tool. It does not, still did not find a maker, but it does say official Boy Scouts of America on the back, and has the insignia on there. Maybe after I get some of this rust and grime off of here, I might find a maker. But a neat knife. It's not a super valuable knife by any means, but it's going to be a fun project. And guys, that's what I have always done. Prior to the whole YouTube video thing, it was never about, making videos. It was never about money. It was just about occupying my mind and my hands working on these old knives. So that's going to be a fun one. The other knife, I passed this up as a hunting knife. It's a leather stack handle. These are just steel. They're not brass. This blade or finger guard or whatever. And I thought this had been reprofiled. This round, the background doesn't help much. This rounded shape here, I thought was the blade had been reworked, but it's actually made that way. I was able to use the pencil to uncover E.G.W. knife, and a lot of people call it an edge weapon knife, but it's actually E.G. Wagner or something. I'll put that information over there. I don't believe it was ever officially issued to the military, but it was said that a lot of the Navy guys would buy this at the supply haul or PX or whatever, and a lot of the Navy guys carried it. I read one article, they called it a oyster shucker because of the round shape of the blade there. I did see that these are selling for $40 or $50 with the leather sheath. So again, not a high value, but it's going to be a fun cleanup project. And I in the real short research, I believe there was variations without the serrated scaler on the back. I don't think it would ever be sharp enough as a saw, but there were, I guess, a couple different versions of that. And then this knife here, excuse me, this knife here, we all recognize this handle, okay? But when I pulled it out, I was just heartbroken that this blade is so heavily rusted. See if I can get the focus here. Super rusted. It's going to be super pitted when I get it cleaned. I have not found any markings on the knife so far, on the knife itself, but the handle is recognizable as Queen. I mean, this is sort of like their go-to pattern, which you'll see in a minute here, and this one came with the sheath. And again, I don't know if we can focus on that and see it, but there is the Q for the Queen, and a very little ornate stamping in there. I may make oil this tonight, but guys, look how, I mean, look at my hands, and I haven't done any cleaning. This is just from handling these knives. They were in very, very bad shape in this plywood box for years and years. Excuse me. Take a little drink here. All right, so knives soaking in this pile of knives. I'm $40 into it. I felt that was pretty fair for the condition that they're in. Excuse me. Now this knife I picked up at an estate sale. When I asked the fellow if he had any knives there, he said, well, if there was a knife here, I would already had it. I said, well, what about kitchen knives? And I went and looked, and I threw about 2 dozen knives. And he said, if there was an old hickory or one of those in there, I'd already had it. Well, he overlooked this one here. This is a Case XX Miracle Edge. And I've recently picked up a set of those, missing one little small knife, but I have a couple of these now. 25 cents I paid for this knife. All right, so that was the yard sale from the young lady named Tammy. I give her my cards, told her to watch and see how well I can clean up her father/grandfather's knives. This is World War II era, but nothing saying it was actually issued to any of the troops. But I think $20 or $40 was fair to her and me for that set of knives. All right, so let's move those out of the way. Let's go with. Okay, everybody, I'm going to stop the video right there. I started to review the other knives I picked up, but the video was getting quite long. We're already at 25 minutes. So I'm going to stop it there. Please look forward to the cleanup videos following this one pretty much immediately. Until I see you again, please remember to like, subscribe, and have a beautiful day.